What's this? A garden party? An old-fashioned fall fair? A community picnic, maybe? Or a reunion? Perhaps it's a harvest festival. Well, really, it's a bit of all these things. They call it the Farmers' Field Day, and they've been holding it here in Lethbridge for several years now, rain or shine, on the third Saturday in August. An easy-going gathering of farmers and their families and friends, a chance to meet and mingle and chat, and to prove to anyone who cares to drop in that farming is alive and well out here in the upper reaches of Bonavista Bay. This is Bob Peddle, one of the farmers.
Yeah, well, now you can she'll see to you when you want any money. I'm not interested in money.
You got thousands. You always had thousands.
The Peddles own one of the biggest farms out here, nearly 400 acres of cleared land. In a good year, they harvest 24,000 sacks of turnips and potatoes and 30 tons of cabbage. They cut and bale 130 tons of hay. Not bad from land that was virgin forest when Bob Peddle was a boy. Snow still lingered in the woods when we tracked down Bob last spring, but the sun's warmth was beginning to waken the trees and the soil and herald another growing season. Work had already begun on Peddle's farm, near the spot Bob cleared from the forest years ago.
Bob, I believe this is where it all began for you as a farmer, wasn't it?
Well, this is where I started, Dave, right here on this spot, with a whole horse and a plough. We cleared it with a hard tool, just pulled the stumps out and ploughed it up, and picked up the rocks with a horse and a whole box cart. That's back, that's 40 years ago.
Some of the rocks you cleared are still over here.
Well, they're over there. You can see them now when the wind rose and the leaves get through down the trees. You can't see them. So that's the only time I likes to look at it, when the leaves get to it, so I can't see nothing. And this is some of the remains of the whole plough that I used. Oh, right here. The boys got it there in front of their cabin, sort of. They were doing it up for henteek. There's not much of a henteek now, I'll tell you.
Well, I guess it's a reminder of a lot of hard work.
Well, boy, yes, I wouldn't like to have to do it over again. Although I like farming, but not the way I done it, no. There's a big difference today, you know. You've got all kinds of machinery, rock rakes and rock pickers and planters. And the way I done it, I plowed it up and opened it with a plow, spread the fertilizer with a bucket by hand, put your potatoes in a bucket and planted them, so you know it's hard going. You cleared land and you got $25 as a bonus. And they give you a few young pigs or a few chicken. That's the way they paid you. You know, it was no such thing as cash.
You mean $25 worth of produce an acre?
$25 worth, yeah. You cleared up the acre of land, all the stumps out and plowed it up and got it ready for cultivation, and they give you $25 of a grant for that was their part.
But they paid you in livestock, or?
They paid me in livestock, a pig or a chicken, whatever you wish to have, you know. If you didn't like pigs, well, you took a few chickens. It's a family operation. We are as hard labor now in harvesting time, but each we all work together. But we got one of the family got their own job, you know, in a certain time. As Wade, he studied mechanics, a short course at the trade school, so he does the mechanic work when we need him, welding and repair and so on and so forth. And then one of the daughters, the oldest daughter, she goes on the road with a truck and delivers vegetables. And so my daughter-in-law does the book work, Judy, Wade's wife, and Werner works with us part-time, so we takes all the family in.
Everybody's got their specialty.
That's right, yeah. And Bon, he's a handyman, he digs potatoes and on the road and do some spraying, you know, when we need it for weed control or top-killing potatoes or anything like that, you know. So every man got his job.
It's important that the families stick together in an operation like this, I guess.
Well, boy, the way I look at it, if you're getting a living out of it, you're home, and you got their homes, and you're home every night, and if you can get money enough to make a living, well, that's as good as you're going to do anyway. But there's not too many, or not very often you'll get a family to stick together. I mean, say they sooner get out and see what's going on and figure there's green pastures better than what's around, you know.
If you were on your own now, Bob, how would you ever manage it all if you had to hire all the help you want?
No way. No, you can't do it. You got to hire, because you don't get the one man 2 years in a row. Sometimes, then you got to train them, and it's not the same. See, the way we got it, you get up in the morning and he knows his job and he goes on. And goes on during the day, just cutting turnips, or washing turnips, or grading potatoes, or digging potatoes, or in the spring of the year planting potatoes. So that's all the trouble you got, is just say what you're going at. See, if you're switching crew, you got to be there all the time.
Is it a good year so far now, Bob? Are things about normal for you?
Well, we thought, boy, the week before last we had that heavy rainfall. We had 31 millimeters of rain, I believe, for one night. Well, we figured on we was going to be the 1st of June anyhow before we'd even get on the land to do anything. But this last 5 or 6 days now, since she cleared away, been going right to town.
So you're a bit early.
Yeah, we got in over 1,000 bags of seed now.
And it's the 1st of June today.
Yeah, that's right.
So
yeah.
if it keeps going, it'll be a pretty good year for you then.
Yeah, if it keeps going and the weather rolls up, you know, a few showers and lots of sunshine, that's what we're looking for.
Well, the rain turned out to be scarce, but sun they surely got this year. When we next visited the Peddle farm, the potatoes were in full bloom. Tall, and to the untrained eye, a wonderful crop. But even we could tell the cabbage looked a bit sickly. But let's talk it over with Jack Chislett. He's been working with Bob for 10 years.
Jack, what about slugs or snails on the headlands? Do you see much?
No.
This weather?
No.
No grubs?
No grubs.
Well, that's one good thing with the dry weather. Only thing is, if it's not growing, there's not much good.
No.
If there's not enough growing for a grub, it's...
Yeah.
So,
No, that's
but I
right.
suppose, boy, we get some rain.
Well, that's what we need bad enough now.
Yeah, she's pretty dead now.
Yeah, guaranteed.
She's pretty dry. We had a wet spring, and then since she changed the 1st of July, we've had absolutely no rain in this part of it.
So the soil is pretty dry.
Well, you can see, I mean, say there's nothing leaves. Look, nothing, only just the same thing as the pure ashes. See that? So, if we don't get rain, we don't get any crop. We got a nice field of stock here out in bloom, you can see. But we got to have rain to get a crop. The early crop, I'd say, is going to be down to about half of last year in this pattern. You can see the blossom is starting to drop, look. You could be starting to harvest those the end of the week or the 1st of next week. So you can see it's not much to it, look, see there?
Right.
Now there is one potato, see there? Look.
One potato, now you'd expect...
One potato, well, you'd expect to get anywhere from 4 to 6 anyway.
Yeah.
They're there, but there's nothing, look. See there?
So if you'd had a bit of rain now, this would be a good crop in another few days.
Well, I mean, say the end of the week or the first of next week, you'll be getting anywhere from 4 to 6, perhaps 8 potatoes. That run, well, that one won't be a bit bigger, but a nice run of potato. But this is what you're getting, look.
Mm-hmm. And all because there's been
all
no rain.
because there's no rain. You got to have water, see? Yeah.
There's still time though, Bob, if you do get some rain.
Well, there's time for the late crop, Dave, if we get rain, but we need a day's rain now. Any less than a day's rain is absolutely no good.
Some thunder showers in the forecast for tomorrow, Bob.
Yeah, that's what they say. There's thunder showers. Let's hope we get some, and good and heavy. That's what we need.
It was close to a drought. Beautiful potato stalks crowning a crop of marble-sized potatoes in the parched earth. The farmers hoped and prayed for rain. But the shortage of rain didn't seem to hurt at least one of the crops on the Peddle farm, strawberries. It was the first day working in the fields for some of the Peddle grandchildren.
Don't pick the round ones.
I do it.
I do it.
I do it.
You do it yourself. Actually, while we're all out here.
I make some strawberry salad.
Haymaking time. Often, on nice days like this, Mrs. Peddle will cook a midday scoff. The whole Peddle clan will join the men in the fields for a picnic. Things were looking better now. The rains had come since our last visit, perking up the vegetable crops and the hay in pasture land and the spirits of the Peddles. Perhaps it wouldn't be such a bad year after all. This is the second cut for the field, aftergrass the farmers call it. A bit of a bonus in a year that started as dry as this one. Bob Peddle has been fortunate that so many of his family have decided to stay with the farm. One of these years he figures he may slow down a bit, and he knows he's got some sturdy and now experienced sons to take up the slack.
I've been farming full time about 15 years. I gave up school around 15 years ago. Yeah, there's a lot of changes in 15 years.
And I guess your father can see even more changes.
Yeah. Yes, I guess it started off with the old horse and that. We're up to 5 tractors now, so I guess it's a nice bit different. Yeah. It's the second cut. We cut the first crop in July month.
So it's been a pretty good year for growing?
Oh yes, excellent year for. But if we'd got some rain after the first cut, it would have been better, right? Not too bad. So yeah, this is what you call a mower and conditioner. She's cutting the hay and feeding back through those rollers and sort of squatting the moisture out of it. Oh, yeah. And one day's sun, I guess, would probably be okay for this.
So it shortens your drying time?
Yeah. Shortens it by a couple of days probably. We won't get all our fields second cut, but we'll get, I'd say, about half.
So you'll use this now to feed your animals the winter?
Yeah, feed animals, and we sell to the dairy farms in the area too.
The Peddles have 200 acres of pasture land and 75 acres of hayland. Hay is a precious commodity in Newfoundland, especially in recent years with the growing number of dairy farms. Several farmers in Lethbridge and Musgrave Town have turned to dairying. But the Peddles are more content to stick with the herd of beef cattle they've developed over the years. They roam freely on this big, sprawling farm, using the forest as shelter in wintertime, but responding at any time to Bob's call. He knows them all.
This one must be your favorite, Eric.
Well, this is the one that we call, she's the leader. So the other ones, whatever this one does, the other ones will follow. So you've got to have a leader in a herd of cattle. If you don't, you go to look for one, he goes the opposite way, see?
Oh. Good to keep on good terms with her.
Yeah, oh yes, you got to keep on the good side of one like that. Although she's just about spawned now, we soon have to do something and try to pick another one.
Do most farmers this way now have a few animals too?
Well, some of the most boys switch to dairy. Most of the farmers, and a few vegetable growers, they just grow vegetables. They don't be into the cattle. No.
You're not tempted to go to dairy animals or to get
No, Dave. I don't see it. I mean, say there's Ari. We got a few dairy fellas there, but that's Ari. But I don't see us first. All of us to drop it all and all go to dairy. You know, we got to have more in a diet than milk.
Is it good to have a mixed farm like this where you have...
Well, I mean, say you haven't got all your eggs into one basket. If one thing fails, you could have too dry or too wet and you'd have a poor crop. Well, then you can kill off some of your cattle and break even anyway to keep going. So that's why I always had cattle ever since I've been at it.
Before long, fall came to the forest and to the fields.
The rain did your potatoes a lot of good, I believe.
Yes, it did. If we didn't get the rain when we did, we wouldn't have had anything.
You could almost watch them grow, could you?
Yeah. Well, 2 weeks ago they were about that size, and you can see the size of them now, eh?
Oh, yeah. So it saved a year for you?
Yeah, it really did.
I suppose there's no way you'd be able to irrigate all the ground you've got.
No, it's impossible because, well, it costs too much to install irrigation because the fields are too far apart, spaced too far, right?
And usually in Newfoundland that's not a problem anyway, is it?
That's right. Other years we usually get too much rain. But this was a good year for doing hay and everything, so I guess you can't have everything the way you want.
So this year looks like it's going to be a fairly good one for the Peddles.
Yeah, we got a good crop. If the price stays up, you know, half decent, we'll do all right, I guess.
That's the biggest worry, is it?
Yeah. Price is dropping fast right now, but it might stabilise after a while, you know.
Who really sets the price, then?
We're set by PEI fellows, I guess. Whatever the potatoes are coming in for, we got to compete with them. Eh?
So I guess it's a rush now to get as much to market as you can while the price is fairly high.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, we've moved out quite a few. This is the 5th field we're digging now since we started about 2 weeks ago. We got to try to get out as many as we can.
Fall is the busiest time of year, a frantic rush to get the crops out of the ground and to market. There's more than weather to be concerned about now. What sort of a crop do we have? What sort of a crop do they have on the mainland? And price, do we rush what we can to market or hold back? The weeks pass and the weather turns colder. The sun is lower in the sky. In the air there's a touch of frost and a sense of urgency. This is harvest time. For farmers, the final spurt to the finish line. A lot of us would be uptight at harvest time. Everything is so critical. But Bob Peddle is confident, unflappable. He likes this business of farming.
The reason I like farming, I always worked in lumber woods with a buck saw. Well, that wasn't very easy. So then I come here, clearing land with a whole horse. Well, that wasn't easy. What was a bit easier than using a buck saw.
And it was your own business?
And it was my own business. What I done, what I done this year was better to me the next year than what was the year I done it. That's farming all over.
Years ago, when they first broke the soil, Mrs. Peddle worked side by side with her husband in the fields. Today, the Peddle girls carry on that tradition.
Well, we don't usually have much to do with planting it because that's done by machinery. But as soon as it starts to come through the ground, when it's time for tinning out, we start tinning out. and we weed. And then it's time for strawberries, so we start at strawberries. And then it's time for the harvest of vegetables, and we start at that. And then there's getting them ready in the warehouses, and we up at that.
Well, Joan, I don't believe you sell most of the vegetables the farm produces, do you?
No, I don't. This is only on a small scale what I do. Usually it's sold to a wholesaler. And Bon go on the road, he does Clarnville, and Wade does Randmall.
These are in the big trucks?
Right. And I only does it on a small scale.
People around this area?
Winterbrook, Jamestown, Portland, Brooklyn on Thursdays, and Friday I do Lethbridge. I only do this 2 days a week, and the rest of the time I'm in the field. Same as the men.
They expect you at a certain time, do they?
Oh, yes. Yeah. I usually try to keep it at that time, so everybody be on.
And some people only want enough for dinner, I suppose, sometimes.
Oh, yes. Probably 2 turnip, a head of cabbage, and 10 pound potatoes. Just enough to last, you know, because it's fresh, right? It's right from the field that morning.
How long have you been doing this now, Joe?
About 6 years now. Because I worked in Clarnville for 6 years, and then I didn't like it, so I went to work on the farm.
You like this better?
Oh, I really like this, because I'm outdoors.
No, it's not always pleasant mornings like this.
No.
There must be some November mornings when you wish you were home, though.
Sometimes.
Thanks.
You got to dress up with your long rubbers on and your rubber clothes and gloves and whatever else you can find.
But still, you wouldn't change it?
No, I wouldn't change it.
Well, Mrs. Peddle, it's a long while since you and Bob first cleared the land here, isn't it?
Yes, 41 years. That's what we've been married, and Bob was farming for married for 2 years with his brother Jack.
So then you pitched in right alongside him?
That's right. Yeah.
You've built up quite a farm in those years, haven't you?
Not too bad.
I suppose you still help him in different ways?
Oh yes, yeah. Well, I do the cooking for men sometimes, you know. But not so much as I did years ago, you know, as most everybody now has their lunches in the garden, like.
I believe you do a lot of the book work, do you?
Yeah, I do all the book work now. Mrs. Peddle used to do some of it before I was married, but I do it all now.
That must be quite a job on a farm this size.
It's getting more each year. You find you have to keep more records, keep things straighter now than you did years ago. You're looking for things in more detail now.
So it's been a pretty good life then?
Oh, it was wonderful. It looks back over now all the years that we put into it, you know. It's just really a good life.
I wouldn't change it, boy. I worked in the woods, and then I went cooking for a few years, and I worked out with Americans in Argentina, but there's nothing like your own job of farming. I loved every minute of it. It was a lot of hard work, but we got a lot of dollars worth. We haven't got a lot of dollars, but we got a lot of dollars worth, and I liked it, and I am proud of what I've done.